Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. Some people are telling us they are liking the driving information videos, getting the scenery, the information together. This afternoon we've just made a couple of drops in Balan and Greendale, and we're heading back towards Caroline Springs at the moment, and I thought I'd answer a few questions. So this topic, I suppose, is going to be along the lines of people have asked the questions, can you tell us more about the 1GD, the 1GD FTV, so the new engine, the 2.8 litre or 2, I'll tell you what I know about it in a minute. And are the DPF problems as bad as what you hear and what people say? So we'll cover those couple of things. We'll try to anyway. Like I said, it's all pretty casual chit chat. So just to touch a little bit more on, as I said, what I've been doing a little bit over the last week. I figured we've had quite a lot of orders of parts, injector kits and stuff. Obviously people preparing for their time off and whatever, and they've got injectors to replace, sort of thing. They've got other works to do, but we've had quite a lot of orders in Victoria, where normally there's quite a lot, WA, Queensland, New South Wales, all over the place, South Australia, country towns and whatever, but there's been quite a lot in Victoria, and there's been quite a lot close by to us on the north and the west side of Melbourne. So I thought, rather than go to the post office and drop the 30 bucks with them, well, I'll burn the 30 bucks in fuel instead, because it's cleaner and safer. I don't have to go into that public place, okay? And after all, it is necessary work. Apparently automotive has been deemed essential. Not that I necessarily agree with it. We've got the workshop pretty well closed until things clear up a bit, doing a little bit extra what we can do to help. As I've said on the Prado Hospital page, which some of you, if you're overseas, you might not be able to see, but we put a post up, doing the no more handshake thing. It was well over a couple of weeks ago now, and I just think that sort of thing is an easy thing to do to help. Now, getting back on topic, so if there's if it makes you excited by getting a personal delivery, if you're within about 50 k's of Caroline Springs type thing, or if you're further west in Victoria, I don't know, I suppose anywhere between Melbourne and Bendigo and Ballarat, that sort of thing, and it gets you excited, the idea of a personal delivery, this is something that might happen. So if that's something you want, by all means, place your order and let's discuss it and see what we can do. It's more likely it's going to happen if you're not in a hurry to get, what you want, obviously. If you're not in a hurry, if you're in a hurry and you want it next day, then chances are we'll probably put it in express post. Now, the other thing to take into account, we're avoiding going into post offices and public places as much as possible. Obviously, they're open for business for these things, but we don't want to be in there every day like what we usually are. We're trying to keep it down to about once a week, or when we're walking past the post office to go and do the weekly shopping. Did you hear what I said? Weekly shopping. We're going once a week, weekly shopping, not every day like we used to. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A lot of people still doing that. Please stop it. Stay home if that's what you're doing. Find something else to do. Stay away from people to keep it safe for everyone. The sooner we stop the spread around Australia and around the world, the sooner we can get back to normal. If we do half a job, or 80% of a job even, or maybe I should say 70% of a job, we're going to be like this a long time. Let's get it up to 90-95% plus, get it nipped in the bud so we can get back to normal. Now, you want to know about the 1GD. Okay, well, I'm driving one now, I can tell you that. That's what I know about it. It's 2,755cc cubic capacity, so it's not a 2.8, it's about a 2.7 and a half. At least the 3 litre, I think it was 2983 or something. I'm going from memory, I'm probably wrong. It's definitely 29 something. I reckon it was up around the 8 region, and I'll take my guess at 2983. We can confirm this. A quick Google search will tell you the answer. Wikipedia or something. Anyway, it's very close to a 3 litre, the 1KD. So this engine's a fair bit smaller, as I've mentioned in other videos. In my belief, you can feel it under your foot. There's no replacement for cubic displacement. There you go. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Anyway, so here we are. We're heading down the Pentland Hills, and it's a bit hazy, so you can't quite see Melbourne. It's normally you'd see it over there on the left a little bit, but it's one of those sort of cloudy. There's no wind. There's been no wind yesterday, no wind today, and therefore what does that leave in the air? Heaps of pollution instead of blowing it away. So maybe it's a bit like China. Oh, I heard it's very polluted there every day. So yeah, just looking over there to the left, it is pretty bad. So even with a lot less traffic on the road, wouldn't be a good look. And when I say a lot less traffic, I know there's people out there seeing there is still a lot of cars on the road. People are going places and whatever. There's still a lot of people that have got jobs and businesses that are open, and hopefully they're taking all the right procedures to stay safe. Back on the topic, what do we know about 1GDs? Not that much, and this is why. The reason we don't know that much about them is they only came out in Australia in 2015. They came out with a warranty where a lot of people believe they need to take it back to their Toyota dealer to maintain their warranty. It's not necessarily the case. They can make things a little bit difficult for you, but it's not necessarily the case. And the other thing that goes with that is in Australia we've got what's called capped price servicing. Okay, so it's a couple $100 sort of thing, give or take, a little bit over for the Prados, but it's pretty good value for money. It's hard to get DPF oil and oil filters, sun plug washers and a few other bits and pieces, and cover your workshop supplies and your labour charges for that sort of money. So what they've done to suck people into that system, which I totally understand, they've included some of that servicing in the price of the new vehicle, so you've paid for it up front, but they don't want you to know that you've paid for it up front, so they get you to pay an amount, a fixed price, get it? Cap price servicing, that's what it is, to the dealer. And in most circumstances, the dealer will be reimbursed from Toyota from the purchase or whatever. I don't know the details of how it works, so, but that's the deal, right? So therefore, a lot of people take their vehicles or think they have to take their vehicles back to Toyota, and I can understand that. There's a few good reasons for doing so. I'm not going to tell people not to, okay? You've just got to be careful which one you go to, and I'm not saying there's any that are good. We don't see these vehicles till they're problems, okay? They don't have problems when they're new and under warranty, and if they do, they're covered under warranty, which means it goes to the dealer. Generally, most problems that we see once they're outside warranty have been caused by people working on vehicles, not the Toyota itself, okay? So it's either just durability, old age, something's worn, or it's caused, but if it's premature or shouldn't have happened, which is a lot of things, it's caused by people. So just really think about where you go and consider you've got an awesome vehicle and there's not a lot to find wrong with it. Back in the day when cars needed to be checked, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to sound a bit too relaxed about this, but you need to check important safety things like, you know, brakes and tyres and stuff like that, because they do wear out. But there's a lot of components on the vehicle that used to fail on older and other brand type vehicles that don't happen on these, reliability wise, you know. So it's really just a matter of changing your filters and your fluids and stuff like that as per the schedule, which can be fairly straightforward, to be honest. When people contact us to service their 1GDs, basically we have this discussion. I mean, I can service it, but these are the advantages you're going to your dealer at the moment, or if I can change your oil for you, it's pretty easy for you to do it yourself. So without too much discussion, I'm putting myself out of business, and we've got people servicing their own vehicles. Therefore, we don't get to learn that much about them. I can tell you, as far as I know, it's got the same oil filter as a 1KD. Okay, it's in a different position. You know, it faces it screws on facing upwards, so it's going to be a different scenario removing it. It's a bit of an opposite direction type thing, if you know what I mean. So that'd be that. You need to use DPF oil. Okay, and there's something else about a 1GD. You need to use, if it's a DPF in our country, it's got a DPF, so you need to use the correct oil. If you use the wrong oil, you're going to cause some problems, which leads to the DPF talk we're getting to shortly. I'm going to try and keep this one shorter than usual. Got another Prado pulled out in front of us and on the on-ramp, and it looks like it's doing basically exactly the same speed. You know, one of those, a bit painful because we're both doing dead on the speed limit. I might be doing the speed limit and they're doing half a kilometre an hour slower, so we'll move over and slowly get past. Anyway, basically, what do we know? Well, about the engine, we know it's a bit smaller. It is a new engine, So it is obviously a bit smoother and quieter for different reasons. It's got hydraulic lifters rather than adjustable lifters. It's got, and when I say adjustable, the 1KD is adjustable in the way of replacing those lifters or buckets, whatever you want to call them. It's got a timing chain rather than a timing belt, okay? You know, things like the vacuum pump are in different positions, different setup. Instead of being down the bottom, it's up the top on the rear side of the engine. Look, there's lots of differences. I think I mentioned in another video, the power steering, instead of being a built-in to the 1KD type gear-driven vane pump, it's a standalone power steering pump, like traditionally how most cars used to be. So there's a few differences like that. It doesn't really matter. Look, at the end of the day, they've only been out about 4 years, these engines in Toyotas, so it's a bit early. There's been some timing chain issues, I think mainly in the Fortuners for whatever reason, so I'm not sure if it's Thailand build issues or something like that. Same as the DPF seem to have been more in Hiluxes. It's early days to know about these engines, and so I hope you understand we don't get to work on them. And if we did, it would be just changing oil, which, you know, glorified oil change. Anybody can do that, can't they? So you've got to be aware there's not a lot to learn until further down the track. I'd say over the next perhaps 4 years we might learn a lot more about them, because once they're out of warranty and we start seeing the sort of issues that we see with other engines once they get older. Now, I haven't checked yet, but it's my understanding, because you don't need to check the valve clearances, because it was part of the valve clearance procedure, was the procedure to replace the injector seats. So I'm not aware of an injector seat replacement procedure on the 1GDs yet. I'll tell you, it will certainly need to be done at some point. I'll do some homework when I get some time to work out if there is a procedure or a timeline for changing out those injector seats, whether they're worried about those. So I'll let you know about that sort of stuff. I would suggest they're going to last about the same as the 1KD injector seats, and I'd suggest the same with the injectors, okay? So you're going to be looking at around about the, look, let's put it out there that it's the about 7 year, 170,000 K. You're going to have to get in there and change those seats, and you may want to change the injectors. Perhaps there's further improvements on these injectors over the ones in the 1KD. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know yet. So that's, you know, it's one of those things we're just going to have to a bit more time and see what happens. Basically, I think that covers what I can tell you about 1GDs, which is not a lot. What else can I tell you in comparing driving the two? As I said before, the 1KD feels like it's got more torque. Some people say, well, why on paper does it show a few more kilowatts of power and more torque? Well, part of it's to do with the way they're tuned, the mapping, and the other part of it is it does have a bigger intercooler. So in controlled conditions, ideal environment, making use of that intercooler in cooler conditions, it may well have 450 Newton meters of torque. But in conditions where air's hotter than that, you're not going to get the same combustion, and you're just not going to get it, because that's what it seems to me. Now, once we own this vehicle and drive it through a winter, which we haven't yet, through a Melbourne winter, if there's a big improvement in power, that will kind of confirm. I hope you're with me understanding my way of thinking, because look, the way it works with turbos and intercoolers and stuff, on a hot day, doesn't matter if it's petrol or diesel, most of these engines you'll feel a reduction in power and responsiveness on hot days. It's kind of quite terrible. It really is. It's really bad, some of the losses in these vehicles, including performance vehicles like Honda Civic, you know, any of these sort of, you know, what is it, the one with the turbo and the intercooler, what's it called? I'm trying to remember what these cars are called now. Type R, Honda Civic Type R, you know, Subaru WRXs, all these sorts of things, you know, they lose a lot in the hotter temperatures, and then you'll take them out on a cold night and you'll feel a massive responsiveness. It's just, they absolutely go off in that cold, dense air, okay? So if we get a change like that, that kind of tells us, well, the conditions where they tested the vehicle and to get those figures were cool air conditions. Maybe they run, average around the world. On the average they're going to be driven would be, 14 degrees or something like that. So they did that controlled environment. I'm not sure. I'm just making things up. What may be the case, because driving the vehicle with ownership from September 2019 through the warmth of that time over summer, including a trip over to the bottom of WA and back, I would say that it doesn't feel like it's got as much power or torque than our old 120 Prado with a 1KD, right? So, which we've been driving for 5 or 6 years, which the engine was, 350,000 Ks, whatever. I would say it still drove better and more responsive than this vehicle. That vehicle's modified with a lot of heavier accessories. This is a nice light GX that's lightly modified. So it's a little bit disappointing, if you like. Now, some people are saying that, they do go fine. I don't want to put you off from buying one. I'm not saying it's a pile of rubbish. It's an awesome brand new Toyota. The vehicle's good, but it's the engine's more like one that, it's more of a revving engine. It's more, it is a bit smoother and quieter, again, hydraulic lifters being brand new and the whole thing's brand new and smooth, of course. So better designs, better sound deadening, this sort of thing. Basically, yeah, look, I'm not too sure what else. A bit disappointing in that respect, but basically, as far as the DPF issues go or don't go, you see a lot of stories around. I think they seem to have settled down lately. It was a big hoo-ha, everybody's going off with, the Hilux and the class action and all that. As I say, it seems to be, it's kind of like pick on Toyota. As soon as something, because when you're the best, as soon as something little comes up, even if it's a non-issue, people want to pick on Toyota, pick on whatever or whoever it is, So look, I think it's a new thing, you're always going to have some issues, right? So it's just another thing in the line of possible problems, okay? So I think early days, you're at higher risk of having an issue. I think a lot of it's got to do with how it's used, okay? So if you do your longer trips and stuff like that, and yet you've got to be lucky and happen to be doing your longer trips when it wants to do a burn. That's the problem. You can do all the long trips you like. As I pointed out in other videos, you can do a lot of long trips, like what we're doing right now, right? Highway runs. It might not do a DPF burn on any of these long runs, and then in a couple of shorter runs, it might decide it wants to do its burn. So if that happens a lot, you're just never going to get to do a decent DPF burn. You want to have a good burn every now and then, at least, if you know what I mean. So no, I don't think the DPF issues are as bad as what as bad as what people are saying. But perhaps they are. Some dealerships will say, we don't have any issues. No, but others will say, yeah, we do. It's mainly Hilux. It seems to be tradesmen type building company supervisors that are doing short trips. They don't get to do the long trips, or a lot of idle time. They're on the phone or on the email or whatever. Building supervisors, might be Metricon or whoever's using a whole heap of Hilux and stuff like that in other companies, you know what I mean? They're the sort of examples I've been given of vehicles that are having DPF issues. So I'm not sure if that's 100% correct or not, or roundabout or whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're that bad. We've certainly had no issues, and we certainly know people who have had issues. But the ones we know, it's fairly small percentages. Now, if you're interested in 1GR information, the 1GD, there's too many, they shouldn't have used Gs, 1GR, 1GD. We've got these 4 groups, and it's called #1GD Forever Crew, okay? Facebook groups, get on there, and search those posts, because we've done the ask the people questions to, try and work out who's having issues, who isn't, and all that sort of thing, and what the odds are of having those issues or not. And it seems to be pretty good. There's people that have had these vehicles since new with no issues. There's some people that had early issues. I love the way way people sit in the right lane. Couldn't do the speed limit, and I just kept a safe distance. Started to interfere with other vehicles that wanted to go past us, and then he's moved over. I've sped back up to the speed limit, and now I can barely catch him. He's busy looking in the mirror. You know, why don't people just drive consistently? Anyway, I think for some people it's a bit of a game, and they just want to see who they can, you know, I don't know. Hey, look forward to seeing in the comments. Do people purposely speed up on the overtaking lane, or do they just know? Are they just in autopilot and they don't know what they're doing? They're all relaxed. They come to an overtaking lane and they go, oh yeah, that's right, 100, I better speed up, and they speed up. Or is it, I'm going to do 90 k's to annoy this guy? Oh, here's an overtaking lane, I'll speed up to 120 to annoy. So what is it? Are they doing it passively by accident? And now we're slowing down for this guy because he didn't know it was a 110 zone, and now he's got on the gas since he's got on the freeway. Well, just so you know, a bit of a driving lesson here while we're out here. When you got on an on-ramp of a freeway, be aware it's a freeway or motorway that's usually a speed limit of 100 to 110. So what my driving instructor taught me when I was 16 was get on the gas. To blend in with the traffic on the highway, you need to be doing around about the speed limit for that to work, and you can adjust your speed as necessary as you come towards the end of the on-ramp, so you can blend in either in front or behind of the vehicles that you're blending in with. You don't come up the on-ramp at 90 k's and then sit there hoping that it's going to work. It's just not going to work. It's kind of not giving way. Please drive properly. Anyway, back on the topic. See, easily distracted again. But it's just how it is. It's right in front of me. How can I not be distracted? And I think driving and concentrating on that's more important than concentrating on what I'm talking about in these videos. So that's what it's going to be. You're going to have to put up with the distractions. So some people have said, yeah, we like the driving videos and the scenery, driving around to see what, Melbourne, slightly out of Melbourne suburbia roads are like, and a bit of scenery. The other thing I'll mention as well is we've got another YouTube channel, in case you're unaware. This one's called 4x4 Diesel. Well, there's one called, I don't know what it's called. The way to find my other channel is if you search on YouTube, search Crazy Snow Trip or Crazy Snow Drive in Prados. Okay, it's about a year old. It's got a picture of, that cold snow symbol on it. There's only about, 800 or 1,000 views or something along those lines. The channel's called, this is called 4x4 Diesel. It's called 4x4 Touring Australia. So the 4x4 Touring part, all one word like 4x4 Diesel, but then space Australia. So we maybe should change this channel to 4x4 Diesel Australia. But we're not just Australia, are we? We're talking to a lot of people in the US and that as well. So hopefully you're all finding this information helpful. Hit me in the comments, be nice with what you like and what you don't. I'm open to feedback. I can't necessarily answer all your questions. We answer a lot of questions in the next video, so if you haven't already, subscribe. We answer a lot more questions in our Facebook groups, which is why I mentioned hashtag 1GD Forever Crew. Also hashtag 1GR Forever Crew. Also hashtag 1KD Forever Crew. Also hashtag 1KZ Forever Crew. So we've got those 4 groups for the Prado Hilux engine specific people that just want to hear about those engines. So they're a good place to be. Like always, when you go to join our groups, you need to answer those 3 questions. If you don't answer, you won't get in. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you find that group, answer the question, be nice, put a nice answer. Nice people put nice answers and they get let in quickly. If you've got a really new profile because you're not on Facebook, that one can be a bit harder because the admins are looking for people that are genuine. So you might want to have some pictures of your vehicle, a few pictures of your vehicle. It doesn't have to be the front or the rear with a rego like these vehicles here. It can be just on the side. If you've got a Facebook name, you could use your name like Fred Hilux or Fred Hilux 69 or Fred Hilux, whatever your favourite number is, or Fred or Dave Prado, or if that's like a Dave Prado 5, or your favourite number might be 21 or whatever it is, right? Pick whatever number you like, whatever number works for you. Anyway guys, that's about all I've got for you really on 1GDs. The 150 Prado, it's an awesome vehicle, just like the older Prados, except even better. It's still a 150, it's virtually the same as the rest of the vehicle. The transmission's awesome and smooth. I don't like the software. I don't like the way the torque converter unlocks way too much, way too often. So the shifting, you don't kind of get to feel the torque because the transmission unlocks before you even really get your foot on the accelerator. It's just terrible. I don't like the lack of power and torque, but don't get me wrong, it's fine. I wouldn't want to be towing with one. I certainly would highly recommend against it, unless you're prepared to go the manual, the 6-speed manual. If you like working your left leg and your left arm, and you like manuals, I'd highly recommend you save yourself the $3,000 and get the manual if you're going to get one. And look, I think towing, don't get me wrong, it'll do the job just fine, okay? But get the manual so you're not cooking the transmission. You'll get better fuel economy. But understand it is a small engine, you're working it hard, and years to come will tell us more about what we know about the 1GD. So hopefully that's been helpful for you. There you go, we kept it down for 25 minutes this time, that's good. We'll call it a day. Thank you very much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if there was some info for you, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks guys, have a nice day. See ya.